Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today is day 7 of PHP in DDCDP23, and we will be building a search page, and uh, we are introducing Ajax in this course. So the Ajax part will have an autocomplete, search autocomplete, as well as showing some articles via Ajax in a page. Also, this is part 6 of the blog we have been building in this course. So let's dive in. So for searches, let us have some background of how some SQL in databases work. So for example, if I come to articles page, and if I have to search for an article in this table with certain title, for example, here is how it is. If I have to search exactly this, here is how it is. So what I will do is select all from articles where title equals, here is how it is. So this is exact search by the title, and so it is returning AID 7 with the same title. This is very clear. But for example, if I go back to articles and I want to search for example, method, okay, I need to search for all the articles which has method in its title. So what I will do is I will come to SQL, select all from articles where title is equal to method, but this will exactly search for the title method, and if there is no title with method, if I search it, so it will return no rows. But if I change this title is equal to like, and then percent method percent, it means whatever is on the left of the method and on the right of the method, that will be also searched. If I skip any of these percents, so for example this one, so only method which is at the end of the title will be searched, but not the middle ones. So let us keep it as percent. So this is how the like statement works. Select all from articles where title like method and go. So now it has searched for that title which has the method in it, because the method has some characters on the left as well as to the right. If I skip this second percent, this one, do you think it will search it?
Yes.
No, because it thinks it as a last word. For example, if I change any of the characters to maybe this one, this 11 one, if I change it to the last title as a word as method and go, if I go to, if I search the articles where title like, because it is string, so what was it? Method. Do you think it will search it now?
Yes, sir.
Because method is going to be the last word.
Last word.
So now it is going to search this for us, because this one is this has the last word as method. But if it lies inside the method, it means it won't be searching that. Right now we have two titles with the method, but only one is searched. So if we change the SQL query to select all from articles where title like and percent means on both sides, it will search for whatever is written in between these two, so method. Now how many articles will be there? 2, because both of them has the method in it. One of them is in the last, but still it is being searched. So what did you take from this exercise? All the searches in web or any other platforms in databases take place via the like statement. Okay, so if I want to now search both in title or in description, right now it is only searching for title, but if I want to search by description also, what I need to do? Where title, like, or so percent, what is it? Method. And description, like, method. Okay, so why is it not searching? Anybody?
Because the method is not present inside the description.
Yeah, and we are using and. So and means both have to be true in order to show something. That's why we need to change the and to or. Now it is showing us the title or this. Okay, if I, for example, change if I make, for example, in the description some method also, if I add a method to the description and go and if I refresh it, now how many records are being shown? Three, because we have added method to the description. So it is searching for these two in the title. These first two records are because of the title, the method in the title, and the second one is because of the method inside the description. So that's how searches in the databases take place. This query is very important. Select all from articles where title like this and method like this. Okay, now we will implement this in our PHP application of the blog website we are doing. So for example, we come to the code. If you come to the code, and here I will basically, let us create a search.php, and let us have some this, and at the bottom we will have a form with a input type is equal to text, name is equal to search, and that's it. Maybe a label also. And the label will be search by text or whatever, and then a button, type is equal to submit, name is equal to search. And action will be the same page, or maybe index.php question mark page is equal to search. What should be the method? So if you want the search things, because normally searches can be bookmarked, I will display it. Okay, but if you need to, normally for search forms you make it get, is it capital? Okay, method is equal to get, and by default if we skip it, it also will be get. Let us display this search page for now in the site. So it will be index.php question mark page is equal to search. So this is the search page, or maybe we need to add some styling, but this is not the course for CSS. We can directly access the search page also here, search.php, something like this. So now the thing is, here we were searching something, for example, method hard coded into the database, but now the goal is, if you type something, for example, if I type method, it will search it. Let us change it to search. Type is equal to submit, name is equal to search, and value is equal to search. Okay, so now we need to have a program where if I type anything in it, for example method or whatever, so it will search it for us, right? So once this is submitted, all the operation for the search will begin, once this form is submitted. So how do we do that? In PHP, at the top of the page we will have if $_ server method request underscore method is equal okay, if server request method equal get, it means the get has been this button has been submitted. It is not post, because we are not using the method as post. So if is equal to get, then we will be doing all the processing. So what will be the name for search? It will be $_get, because the method is get, so all the values now will be available in, and the name is search. So we will call it term or search term, search underscore term equals $get search, and that's all. What is going to be the next step will be query. We will be running the database query. So for that we have to include the database, but in index.php it is already included, so we don't need to do that. And so we will have video and prepare and the same query, select all from articles, the title like term or description like term. So video prepare, select all from articles, the title like term or description like term. So it will be searching for these terms as a like statement. Next we will execute this with the array of colon term, and this is going to be search term. But we have to concatenate the search term with the % sign, so that it is actually like this. And then records, we will save all the records to this array, and that is going to be fetch all, and then we are going to pass video fetch a source, and that's all we needed. So whatever is the search term, it is basically coming from the databases, from the form. It will be passed to this execute term array, and it will be appended with these % signs. I also have gone ahead and changed this to is set get search, because by default the any PHP page is run as get. So we have to change this to search, so that the form has been submitted and the get array has the search value in it, and it is not empty. Okay, so let us include this search page in index.php question mark page is equal to search. So now we can search for method in search, and it is redirecting to the home page, which is not what we want. And you can see we are not having the page underscore is equal to search here, because the get form overrides all the parameters. This is what we have set up, page is equal to search. We will remove this page is equal to search. It will go to the index page, but we will create a hidden field, input type is equal to hidden, value is equal to, what should be the value? Search. And then what should be the name, so that our page template system works? Page. Well done. Okay, now rather than setting up it here, the query parameter, because it was being overridden by the form query parameters, as the form has an action of get by default. So this value is equal to search will be part of the query parameter now, which once the form is submitted. So let us, if I search for method, now it is returning records. Let us get this off. Also, maybe if we are able to add some CSS classes to the title, so, and even we can wrap them with h2s. Help me with some CSS classes, relevant CSS classes of h2, maybe text for Excel, and this one will be h4 and h4. So guys, we'll do this. So hopefully will be probably we have closed, something has happened here. Okay, so this is the title we have searched for. These are 3 articles with the method in it. So the search is kind of working fine. Let us also get this variable off from printing. Now we should have this form at the top of the page, maybe if we are searching it again. So how to do it? We will move this
Before the for each loop is.
before the for each loop. Now search by text. So maybe, for example, if we are searching by content, this content, so search, now it will be, content will be in all these articles. Okay, but still we are not able to see where the search term is. We need to improve it. So how can we do it? Any idea? We need to check the tags, the search terms here with some highlighted color. For example, if I search on this injected, if I search this, so it has all the articles with either title or description with the injected word, but it is not visible here for us easily. It should be highlighted. Okay, so in order to achieve this, what we can do is string replace PHP function. So for example, this is a function string replace word Peter and hello world. So what this does is, this is the search string we are providing as source, and we want the word to be replaced by Peter. So there are 3 parameters actually. So for example, here we are outputting the title and description. Let us do it for description first. Okay, so we are printing HTML special cars record description. But what we can do is, if we just copy it and create a variable somewhere here, easily, it will be easy, $description equals string underscore replace. Okay, so what do we want to replace? The term which has been searched in, this is the, we want to search this in this whole string and replace it with this. The middle one is for replacement and the first one is for the search. So for example, if I it will be $, we already have set up this search term. So we will, the first will be search term, the second will be the replacement. Okay, the second one will be the replacement. So the replacement should be something like this, span, or maybe in small single quotes. Okay, span class is equal to, give me some background class for tailwind with yellow color. Do you remember any? BG dash, no, BG dash here is fine, dash 400, and then the search term, and then the closing span, like this. And the third one will be Shabas, the whole description, like this. So string under replace will find the search term in this whole description, and then it will replace it with this. Maybe we are having some closing issues. Span class equal to this search term, concatenation, we need concatenation dot and dot
Closing
like this. Okay, special cars description, and what is this?
Sir, the search term will be printed inside the PHP itself.
Maybe this was the problem. Okay, so search term this span, it is .html this. I think it is fine now. So we are assigning it to the description variable, and here we will only print description. Got it? So let us refresh the page. Now wherever injected has been used, it is being highlighted. For example, if I search for method again, so method, because method only was in description, right? Only once in description, twice in the titles, but we have just managed to change the description. So let us do the same for, or copy the whole line for title also here. So we will make it title, search term, and this will be title. And if this is the variable title, we will now change it to print title. Is this okay now? So if we are searching method now, we have 3 results with the words highlighted. Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay, one more thing, and this is part of the quiz. The word which we are searching is gets disappeared from the search box. How can we make it reappear here once the search is made? It is not showing there.
Like through menu.
Exactly. So we already are setting up search term is equal to this. So if where it is form, this value is equal to search term, print search underscore term. Now it is being shown here. And if nothing comes up, we should have no records found. Something like no records found. So how can we do it? If is set, this is if is set. So it is showing all the records. If records is set up and the count is greater than 0. So if is set this in def, here we can have probably else. Else if it is not set. Should we have and else or okay, so just let us print no records found. Let's try if it is working. So method, because it is there, but if it is triple D, so no records found. Got it? Okay, now how to count the number of items we have found. For example, if I search method search, so it should be showing 3 records found, 4 records found. Row count.
So the count, we can also do it with count.
We can also do it with count.
Count, record, dulls and
Yeah.
record. Record.
So PHP documentation for PDOs shows that row count cannot is reliable for MySQL but may not be for other databases, but we'll use it for now. So query total records equals % query row count, like that. Is this fine? Okay, so row count is this. So at the top of the page, here we can your maybe just p after the search, I think it should be here after the form. So your search results returned, and then you will have print records. So if method is searched, your search results return 3 records, and if there are no records, then, and this should also be inside, probably inside the if statement for the number of records here. And if nothing is returned, okay, no records found. Is this clear? Any questions about today's class? So what actually is a search? Search is nothing but a wildcard search in databases with %, term, %, and then it is normal PHP and database connection stuff. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next session after the break. Welcome after the break. So let us briefly discuss what headers are in PHP or in any server-side languages which from your browser. If you issue some HTTP request, so there is something called headers along that request. So for example, let me just open some page. All articles is a page in our website so far, or maybe this is just one page which is already open. So for example, if I click on any of these links, a request goes to the server and the server responds with some response. So if we click on inspect, you can have this in your browser tools as well, and click on network and refresh the page. So you can see all the HTTP requests to the server. The most important one is this article.php id is equal to 6. So if you can zoom this part of the browser, you will see okay, so this is the first section is headers. You can see headers. One of them is response headers, another one is request headers. So with any HTTP request, for example, this is the request headers. It has some information which is sent along the URL which you are accessing via HTTP protocol. So the method is get, path is this, accept is this. Accept headers means that the browser is asking, and this is all by default right now, that server should send it. These are MIME types, text, HTML, application, this, all of these are default ones. You can restrict, I mean, if you asked the server to just send you JSON, for example, then you will have the accept header of JSON. So it will only be sending you JSON files. It should then send you JSON files. If they are not JSON files, then there you can catch that error and you can display it in your browser that the server response is not JSON. So all of these are headers actually. In coding, they have been detailed in on Wikipedia as well, and even you can restrict a particular language from a server in your browser. For example, if you let your your server know that you only need Arabic, for example, so then the accept language will be Arabic only. Similarly, cookies, what cookies you are sending along, cookies is key value pair in the header, so these are also sent in the the request headers. And referrer is the page which is requesting, from where you are requesting the HTTP request, and user agent is the browser which is sending the request. Okay, so all of these headers you can read about them. Similarly, in the response, once the response is ready by the server, so it also sends some headers, and that is, for example, content encoding gzip, content length, content type, whatever is being sent back by the server. So in case if we, let us do this one, content type text HTML, by default it is sending it as text HTML. But if I want the server to send some page as CSS, so I already have done this to save some time. So I have created headers.php, and the header function, this is the header function. So content type, this is PHP actually. PHP, I have created a headers.php page. So the header content dash type is equal to application, it is text slash CSS, for example. And I can now write any CSS here. The page is PHP, but PHP server will now send, or the web server will now send this page as a CSS file to the client or the browser. So if we access this headers.php page now, so it is not outputting anything, but at least this is just CSS file now. The path is PHP, but we can even use it in the link href attribute now. The path will be PHP, but it is being sent as CSS. Similarly, if we have to read some PDF document or even images, so you can just change the MIME type here. Type is equal to image slash JPEG or whatever, and it will be rendered as image for the client or browser. Similarly, you already have used header for location. So for example, let me just show you the headers now for the response. If I refresh the page, and here this is headers.php, and if I go to the response tab, or maybe here response headers, so now you can see the content type is what? Text slash CSS. Okay, you can even it can be JSON or anything else. Okay, now I need to use location, maybe some other page which is login.php. So if I access this page now, where I will go to? Login page. So basically this redirection which takes place by the headers is, if you now open the inspect, and if I make it headers.php again and open the network tab, here I will refresh it as headers.php. okay, if I click on it, and go to the response headers. So you can see there is another key value pair which is location. So location is login.php. Okay, server has sent this to the browser, and browser sees, oh, there is a location, so it visits that page, and even you can see that login now here as another request to the server. Got it? Also you can see status code. So status code 200 means that everything is perfect and fine. Request URL is status request method is get, and the status code is 200 means the file exists. Okay, the file exists, but if it doesn't exist, the code would be 404 something or whatever. Okay, if I temporarily add another redirect in here at the top of the page, what it is, header location and we already have a page here, recursion, so maybe we can redirect it to recursion.php for now. Okay, so if I visit header again, what do you expect? Headers.php, how many pages will be here in the 3? So you can see, maybe we just need to have headers.php. Okay, if I come to headers.php and this 302 found, what does this mean? This is good for search engines actually. Okay, maybe you have temporarily redirected your pages to. So if I go to 302 status code meaning, response code indicates that the resource requested has been temporarily moved to the URL given by location header. Okay, so for example, there is a registration page on your website and your management decides to just block the registration for a day, for example, for some reason. They will be hitting the registration.php page, but they will be redirected to some temporary page. So it will be known by to the browsers that this page is not permanent, but 302 means server sends this code so that browsers or clients realize that this page is not permanent, and it will there will be no redirection later on, but right now there is a redirection. So if you check this, the server has issued 302 found, the page is there but it has been redirected. So the location is login.php. This is the redirection is location is login.php. Then your browser again requests the login.php because it sees the location header from the server. How does it know that it is going to be redirected? Because server has sent the header of location. So if we go to login, so login again has a redirect 302 in it, and then we have the recursion, and with recursion it is 200. Okay, means everything is fine, we found the page and we have responded accordingly. Sometimes there are the browser shows there are too many redirects. So redirects means a chain of redirects, just like infinite loops, and your browser will hang up. So it is only when, for example, if I issue headers.php and again the redirection is for header.php, so it will be a loop sort of thing, infinite loop. And this status code is very important. If the server has responded with the necessary information to the browser or client, then the code will be 200. Okay, and anything in the 200 range is a good code for browsers to work. Otherwise the 300 means redirects and 400 means something is wrong with the request. and 500 is server problem, if server has some issues. So you can check about HTTP status codes and read about them. Wikipedia. All of these can be read here. For example, if 404, it means not found. Okay, 403 means forbidden. You might have seen it a lot. It means that this page is there, but you are not eligible to access it. And 200 is okay. Where is 200? This one. 200 is okay. And for example, if you have created something, some new record, so you can reply with 201, and the client will know that a new resource has been created. Maybe HTTP status code PHP function. There is a function also. This one, HTTP response code. Sorry, this. So let us fake this headers.php right now. Where is headers.php? This one. At the top of the page, we are, let us remove this redirect, and if I just use this function HTTP response code 404, let us see how it behaves. So this is headers.php, and if you come back to you can see there is a cross, and though there is the page is there, but it is 404 not found. So you can decide something on that grounds, maybe some if else. If the code is 404, for example, do this, otherwise do this. Okay, so now actually this information was a bit very important for the next one, which is Ajax. So today we will be starting using Ajax, and what Ajax actually is. So for example, this is your browser. You type www.cnn.com, and it goes to its server, and it responds with all the markup you have. So let us open it in browser. We have issued cnn.com, so all the request has gone to CNN server, and it has responded with the HTML page. Now if I, for example, click on this, another request goes to the server, and it responds with another page. So the whole page reloads, and if we go to the page source, this is the page source, the whole of the source. So it has some size, for example, it has a lot of stuff. All of this information is reloaded each time we send a request to the server, from top HTML to the closing HTML. You can see this is all the code, and in the browser it looks like this. So for example, if I again click on this one, maybe some other article, or this one, this link, so again the whole page reloads. The concept is the whole page reloads. So maybe if we are unnecessarily reloading something for some purposes, but the concept is it is hitting the server page, the server side page, whatever resource, and it returns us the necessary output. But if I, for example, come to one of the pages in our blog post now, it was all articles or something, articles. So this is the articles page we have created. So if I click on the 10 number article, can you see the blinking? Because the request goes to server and server responds with the whole page back, So the same analogy, if we check page source, so all of this output is run each time we click on. This response is basically sent back to us each time the link is clicked. Do you agree?
Yes.
So this is typically known as reloading of the page, because it needs a server hit. But what Ajax is, through JavaScript, the techniques used in JavaScript, if I click on, for example, this article, should not load the whole page. It should show us the output here in some div or whatever. Should not output the whole page. It should not reload the whole page. It should show that output in a window, for example. So you can say it will fetch the record from the server still, but as a backdoor from within the page. No unnecessary loading of data all the time. That's where Ajax comes in, and Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So XML is a JSON-like format which is not used a lot these days. So we will be using JSON or plain text for it. But the concept is, if I go to the free form again, so Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. But the XML part is not applicable these days. It is still, if somebody uses XML documents, but if you can even call it JSON these days, because JSON is a lot used rather than XML. So we also will have an example of JSON. Okay, I already have created a page to show you what I mean by all this. So if I go to ajax.php, okay, these are all the articles in our page, and if I click on any of the link now, notice the URL here, that there will be no flashing now. So if I click on any of these, you can see at the bottom of the page the page is not reloading. But within the same page has loaded first time, but on subsequent request we are still sending data to the server, means PHP server, and it is returning us some response which we are showing in a div here. That's what Ajax is. So yesterday I gave you 2 assignments, and the main purpose of those assignments was that you know why do we need Ajax. So for example, you are searching suggestions for usernames, right, or the names of the student. So you are hitting the button, and the request was going to server, the page was reloading, and then the information was getting displayed. Right now what we will do is we will just click on the button, the page won't reload, and still it will show information from the server. So it's a combination of JavaScript and a server-side language like PHP. We achieve something like something called Ajax. So you can see the difference here. The page is not reloading, but still we are getting data from the server. So if I click on inspect, and if you go to the network tab again, and if I refresh the page, and now notice in this all, if I just zoom it in, So you can see in your development tools, in the network section, there is fetch slash XHR. So fetch API, you already have studied that in JavaScript, and XHR. The XHR is used for Ajax. So if we click on any of the link now, you can see it is sending a request to single article.php. AID is equal to 33. I have created a page, whatever it is, and it is taking a URL parameter of AID is equal to 13. So this is what it has sent a Ajax request to that page, and the page we are on is Ajax. The request has gone to this single article.php. Okay, and the status code is 200, means everything is fine. It has returned some responses. So if I click on any of the response, okay, so we are accessing internally via hidden window, you can call it, which is called Ajax single article.php. So the response from that page is this JSON. The response from this page is this JSON, and then JavaScript in Ajax.php JS is manipulating it and adding it to this div. So if I click on this, it is showing it here. So let us redo this so that you know what we are doing. If I open the ajax.php page, this is simple list of articles, as I said before the class. If I open ajax.php, this is ajax.php, so these are all the articles and the titles, actually simple titles, nothing else. And how have we achieved them? So a connection, and then select all from articles. It is getting executed. This is all you know now, and fetch all, and we are saving it in records, and then we are looping through in a UL and LI tags. We are looping through this and displaying all the information. But you can see there is one more thing, which is this div id is equal to root or anything. You can give some id or class or whatever. Okay, and we are also including a JavaScript file which I have created, which is ajax.js, Okay, one more thing, we are adding a class of Ajax link to the records. Also, data ID is equal to, what is data attribute? Do you remember? Data dash AID something, whatever. Yeah. So we are also displaying the IDs of the records with data dash AID. And look at this, the href is what? Single article.php AID is equal to 0. In case JavaScript is not working, so this page will go to that record. If I refresh the page, if I go to the inspect, so you can see these are all the LIs of the records, and in LI this is class is Ajax link, data dash AID is equal to 3. If I inspect this one, so data dash AID is equal to 14. So each row has its own data dash ID. Okay, so we can have the article ID in that place. Now let us quickly redo this ajax.php, or maybe if I do it as ajax2.php, and I will create a new file so that we can together go through it. Ajax2.js. Ajax2.js. So we will include Ajax2.js. And let us quickly, so all of these links have a class of Ajax link. If I click on inspect again, and you can see each row has a class of Ajax link. So how can we target Ajax link? How to target certain links in JavaScript?
First we select it.
Let all links or anything is equal to document dot
We select
all and dot Ajax link, because we have given the links this class. Is this okay? Now I want to add event listener to each one of them. So for each loop. So all links dot for each, and it will have a function which will be run for each item. So we can call it link, and it will be this. Okay, so now for example I want to add event listener to each one of them. So what I will do, link dot add event listener, and it should be on click, and for now it's a function, and let us just make an alert. Event listener is working. So if I click on any of these, so event listener is working. It means this functionality is working fine at the moment. The next thing is, do you remember what's the default behavior of a link? If for example I click on any of this link, so what it does, it will go to each ref. This is the default behavior. Yeah, so if we pass event object into the event listener function or e whatever, so what can we do? If we click on event dot prevent default, what does this do? It means that it should not go to its default behavior. It will be, this is from our JavaScript class if you remember. So now if I refresh the page, it is just clicking on it, but it is not going to the page. We have restricted its default behavior so that the page, the request doesn't go to the href attribute which we have added to it. If we inspect it, you can see it has this href attributes. It is not going to this page. The single, it is not sending the request to single article.php. Okay, that's what we meant. Okay, the next thing is we should remove the alert. Now here comes the Ajax, and we are using Ajax code for this. Is all normal code, but now we will be using Ajax. What is Ajax actually? So new HTTP let us first define the variable. So let, normally they define it with xhr, so we can even call it Ajax request or whatever, but the developers normally use xhr. So this is a constructor function. You already know what constructor function is. XML HTTP request. Okay, and what is a constructor function? What does we do with the constructor function? We use the new keyword, if you remember. So that's all you needed to do to create a connection or backdoor connection. Not a connection, actually we have initialized Ajax request object. Ajax request object has been initialized and saved into this variable. So that's the first line you need to do in order to start working with Ajax. The next thing is this is step 1. Let me call it step 1. The next step is we need to open connection. Open is basically configuration of the XHR object. Okay, so you can mix and match these steps, but for now XHR has a method called open, like this. Okay, and open has 3 parameters. One is string, which is the method. So for example, we want the get. Now you know what get and post is, right? So the connection I want to open should be of type get, and what is going to be the URL for the PHP page, server page. So here we need to specify that URL. So it is single page. I already created a page which is single article.php, and let me just show you what single article.php is. Just connections have been included, then we are select all from articles where AID is equal to AID, because it is going to be a get request. Okay, I will explain this code in a while, but let me just complete this first. So in ajax2.php, which we are doing here, JS, here it should be single page.php, right? And question mark AID is equal to some value, whatever it is. Right now let me just make it 5 hard coded, and the third argument is true, but by default it is true also. True means it should this request be synchronous or asynchronous. So if it is true, it means asynchronous, and if we leave it, so it also means by default it is true. Okay, the next step is XHR dot, the last step should be XHR dot send. One thing we will do first. Okay, this is dot send. So dot send will send the request. This is opening, and you can call it configuration or whatever, configuration, but this step means that it should be a get request, and the request to the page will be this one, and this means send the request. But now this one is step 3, you can call it step 3. We will send a request to this page. Okay, but what should we do with the response? How to grab response? So XHR has an onload function. This one, this is onload, and this is going to be a function like this, a callback function. Okay, onload is a callback function. And right now let me make it this dot response text is equal to maybe console.log. So onload means when the request has been sent and the response has been received by the browser. So what should it do? It should do this function. It should run this function. and in this function we are just using the console.log. So the XR has a property which is response text. So response text is whatever is sent from the browser as a request, from the server is a response is saved in this variable by JavaScript automatically for us. Let me quickly create a dummy.php page, and I will just echo this is dummy text from server. So this is just a PHP page, okay? This is a PHP page which echoes this dummy. So if I access this page, dummy.php, what should be the output? This is dummy text from server. So if in the Ajax2.php, this one, if I change this get to dummy.php for now, just for the demo purpose, dummy.php. So what do you think should be in the response text? Dummy text from the server. Very good. Okay, and let me just quickly preview ajax.php and show you if I am right. If I open the console, okay, do you remember we have set up add event listener of clicks on all these links, right? And once the link is clicked, we initialize the Ajax request, and Ajax request is right now for dummy.php. So whatever is in dummy.php, that will be sent by the server to the browser, and it will be saved in this response text variable by JavaScript for us. Okay, so if I click on any of these, so you can see this is dummy text from server. So what has Ajax done for us? What the benefit of Ajax is that we are staying on the same page, and we are not accessing this page directly in the browser like we were doing it previously. We are accessing this page not from the browser, but by clicking this link and staying in this ajax.php link. You got it? The concept is to to hit a server page while staying in some other page using JavaScript. Okay, there are two very important, you can call them these are properties. One is we should not be doing this directly like this in the onload function. There has to be one if statement, and that is this dot status, is equal to what? Right now I just showed you the status should be 200, so that everything is okay. So if there are some there are some problems in your request, this should not be done. So if this dot status is equal to 200, and there is another one, this dot ready state is equal to 4. These are two very important indicators that your request is all fine. So you should do all your response management inside this if statement. If the status is equal to 200 means everything is fine. Status returned from the server is 200. Also the connection was fine, and your request reached the server. That is indicated by ready state. Okay, so if this is equal to 4, then you should be managing your response text. So let me just check if still it works, because if you come to network and click on dummy.php headers, the response is 200. Okay. Okay, if I change the dummy page to dummy1.php, we don't have dummy1.php. So do you think this will be returned?
No, sir.
Because we are in that case the it will be 404.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if you remember, if I come back to ajax.php, which is outputting all the links, for these are all the links, ajax.php is outputting this. So we have data dash aid is equal to whatever. Each link has its own id. Each link has its own id, which is saved in the data dash attribute. So if we click on it, this is all old JavaScript we were studying before. Okay. So if even here we can just check for this data attribute. So id, if I create a variable which is id is equal to event dot target dot data dot aid. How to get this? Can you see data dash aid attribute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is going to be data set or data? I think it is data set. Let me just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
alert it. So if I click on any of the links, it should display its id. Sorry. So it is 11. If I click on this one, it is 14. Got it?
Yes, sir.
That was the purpose of why we were adding. So now we have in this variable event.target, whatever is the target means whichever link has been clicked. It's data set because we can grab data dash from the data set and then the name of the data set. Why are we doing it? Anybody? Why are we doing this? Because we want, exactly, we want all to fetch one record
Yes, sir.
from the database.
On this-
So
on
that
this-
is always done via
Fine.
id. Okay, so here again I will change this dummy id to dummy.php to, we already have single dot, or let me just quickly create this page for you. Dummy.php I will quickly add to, so that you can realize what we are doing. Where is dummy? Okay, so we are requiring the database connection, maybe functions if we need, starting session not needed, but if we need in future. So if is set get aid, you now know if the URL has dummy.php aid question mark aid is equal to something, and that is not empty, then we will do something like this. Okay, so what that something will be, we will be fetching that record from the database. So I hope this is very clear cut for you now, these four things. So if whatever is the aid in the get parameter, we are saving it in aid variable, then we are preparing select all from articles where aid is equal to aid. So whatever is in the get parameter, that will be fetched for us, then this is being cleaned and executed. The record will have one record, right? Okay, this is now an array of all the article values. The next is this line is, let me just use this one for now. So where is dummy? Okay, here print JSON underscore encode and this. If I just comment it out for now and use while loop or maybe just record what it is, ID and print, rather title is fine. Okay, so if I access dummy.php now with a URL parameter of AID is equal to 10, so what will I get? The title of this 10 number article, right? So this is 10, this is 11. This is normal PHP stuff we have studied so far. I think there should be no problem for you at the moment for this. So we are passing AID is equal to something and getting the title. Is this fine? But if I use this function JSON encode record has all the columns in it, database columns in which we have select all. So this record is a associative array of all the records. But this function, what this function does is print JSON underscore encode record. So it makes, in PHP it makes JSON from PHP array.
It will arrange it in a JSON format.
It will make it, yeah, exactly. So it will make it into JSON format. So if I refresh it, you can see now this is JSON. If I go to view source, where is view source? View page source. Raw. Okay, raw. So this is AID is equal to 11, title is this, description is this, and this is all JSON now. Okay. So in order to print PHP array into JSON, what we do? We use this JSON encode PHP function record. So whatever from the database is coming now, it is a JSON. Okay. So we are accessing this page directly in the browser with dummy.php question mark AID is equal to 11. Is this okay? But let us go now to our Ajax 2.js, and here we need to change question mark AID is equal to, what should be here? AID is equal to what?
ID.
Because we are calculating this ID here, getting this ID from the data dash attribute. So we can just issue a plus ID. Is this okay?
Yes.
Now what should we get from this dummy.php? The response should be, if I just here onload function, if I console.log this dot response text, this. So what should it be now? If I click on any of the links
So it will be that specific article title or description
in JSON format.
JSON format.
Good. Okay, so if I go to Ajax, if I click on any of these and open the console tab, so you can see this is the same JSON format we are getting in dummy.php AID is equal to this. For example, if I click on this now, so it is doing this, and so on. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But you know it well now that, okay, so this dot response text is what? This dot response text is JSON code. Okay. But in order to convert it into JavaScript object, JSON is not native JavaScript object. It is notation. Basically, it is text. So in order to change it, what you should do? JSON dot parse. JSON dot parse function is used to, and we will save this into let real object or whatever you can call it is equal to this. So now if I console.log real object, it should be real JavaScript object, not just the text, JSON text. Console so you can see now this is not JSON but actual JavaScript object. If I want to just, for example, target title, what I will do?
Specific object dot title.
Exactly. So it will be dot title like this, and if I refresh the page now, what it will show, if I just click on it, this is the title. Got it? Okay, here we should have, as I said, we are using this Ajax 2.js in the Ajax.php, and we have created a div id is equal to root. So we should target this in Ajax 2. How can we do it? At the top of the page, normally it is good. Let target div equals document dot query selector, and we'll use hash root like this. Sorry. So target div is this, and what if I make it target div dot inner HTML equals real object dot title. So if I click on any of this, are we getting the same title?
Yes, sir.
And this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. So the logic we have created, it is working fine. But we can even use literal strings so that we can incorporate title also, description also, title description. So if I change this to template literals, these, do you remember these from the JavaScript?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we can do is div class is equal to record or something like this. Can we have some relevant CSS classes? Div class is equal to record, and then we will have h2 and here we should have title and dollar sign. So it will be real object dot title, and similarly we should have h4s or maybe p, but it should be real object dot description. That's it. And let us give it a class of, what was it, text dash for Excel, and we'll make this text dash to Excel. So now whichever we are clicking, it will be shown. Do you think it is sending request to the server?
Yes, sir. It is sending request
To the server, because this page is not this is not on the page initially. The difference between normal JavaScript, you can fake it as Ajax also, but this data is at the bottom of the page is not on the page initially,
Yes, sir.
but it sends a request to the server and it responds with the response. Okay, this is so fast we can't judge if it is because we are on the local server. maybe if it was live, it would have some time getting this data. Okay, so we can fake it with, if we come to the dummy.php, where is dummy.php, this at the top of it, if we just use this, for example, sleep 2, it means sleep for 2 seconds. So the PHP page will stop executing itself for 2 seconds. So if I now refresh it and click on this, you can see it waited for 2 seconds and then it received that response from the server. So what we can do is, what trick we can use here, we can use some animated GIFs or GIFs,
Yes, sir.
or to short, the short thing will be, as soon as we make when the link is clicked here, so what we can do after the target div dot inner HTML is equal to, it can be some animated GIF, or but here we will use loading this. So once this is clicked, it is waiting for 2 seconds. This will mimic a slow server, basically slow internet or whatever. So now if we click on it, what will be here? Loading, and after 2 seconds it will change itself. So you might have seen something like this on websites already. And the biggest difference is that we are not reloading the whole page, because now it is being done with Ajax. So it's a good question. You should write your JavaScript or PHP like which is known as a progressive enhancement. So if somebody has disabled JavaScript, what it will happen, it will be going to the, we already have used ahref here. So href has single article.php id equal to 2. So there you have the PHP code, or maybe the dummy code. So at least the functionality will not break. It will go to, right now we have used this code e.prevent default. So if JavaScript is disabled, this prevent default will not be working. So it will go to the ahref page, and there he can see the records. Okay, now let us quickly do one more assignment or functionality, and that was given to you yesterday. And we will not be using JSON for that, we will be using simple HTML for it. Okay, so yesterday I gave you an assignment of suggestions. So suggestions, maybe suggestions.php. So suggestions.php is going to be simple, or maybe it is going to be form, and form will have a label of search articles, and then it will be input type is equal to text, name is equal to search, and on purpose I am not going to make a button for it right now. Okay, I just want to show you suggestions for articles for some reason. So if you open the suggestions.php, here if I type something, for example A, BC 3 characters I have typed, for example. So it should show me all the articles related to these. Okay, in the titles only, and so on. So previously you had a button. If you click on a button, it will send the request to the server and it will search that keyword for you, and then it will return some markup which you would add here to the bottom of the div, right? So let me quickly add a div before this. Simple div or anything. Div class is equal to bg dash gray dash 400 and id is equal to suggestion. And if, for example, here I have ul and lis, let us style it well. Article 1. It is a good practice to have your custom markup like this and then convert it to server driven markup. So initially this is article 1 and 2. Why is the background not working? Because it is not being included via the index.php page is equal to suggestions. So now you can see this is a div with a, but I think that will look better. Okay, so we have now to change this into server side driven records. Okay, so here in suggestions.php we can create, or maybe even in this page we can have question mark PHP and here. Okay, in yesterday's in the session before the break, if you remember, we had search.php, so we need the same code here. If is set get search and not empty search term, so we will search these articles. Let us quickly copy this code in the suggestions.php. So if is set get search and not empty search term, but it is search. Select all from articles. Let us do it only for title. So title like term, let us remove the and execute term is equal to this, fetch all, and total records is equal to query count. Now let us also copy the output of this. And let us move it to another page for ease. Okay, suggestion handler.php, and we will okay, so what it is doing, it is fetching all the records from articles and then it is looping through it and displaying the searches. But we will just change this to something like ULs analyze. Okay, so print UL and after the for each loop we will close it, and then what will be the in the allies?
Because
$ record title.
inside the PHP table.
Is this okay? So how to test if all of this is working fine? So if is set get search and not empty, we can even now make it post. Okay, how post I will let you know in a while. Post select all from articles with title like this. Okay, so we are on the suggestions page now. This is a suggestion page, and if I open it, what should be in the action? Nor in normal PHP, action is equal to suggestion handle.php. So all of the form values will go there, and method is equal to post, and this is the search name for the search field. Okay, so if I open the suggestions.php now, this is suggestions.php. If I type something, for example, what was the word yesterday? Method, and enter. Okay, we need to connect to the database, so includes okay, so if I click on this, what it is doing, maybe there are some extra words for now. Suggestion handle.php, suggestion handle.
So before the for each loop print will be inside the PHP table.
Before the
For each loop UL. Line number 20. 20. It will be inside the PHP table.
okay, now it is probably not searching it because there are only 3 records and it is sending us a lot of records, so maybe there is some problem with search. Okay, this is search term, this is search. So if I now, by default, even if you are in a text field and enter, if there is no button, so if you click on enter, it will submit the form and it will go to its action. This is normal PHP, forget about Ajax for a bit. Okay, so what we are doing, we are just clicking on the enter button on our keyboard, and we are getting 2 records with method in it, this one and this one. Okay, but now we need to display this information via Ajax, not physically visiting the page. Got it? Gone have those days now in your careers, which when you would use something like this for either page. Even for your assignment today in likes, you have to change it to Ajax. When you click on it, page will not reload. There is a flash in that if you see. Okay, so tell me now, what should we do? Hurry up. First things first, we are on the suggestions page, and here we want suggestions. This is suggestion. We want something to be done so that we get this static data as dynamic, the one we did now. Before diving into code, just let me know what can be the plan, how to use Ajax here now. Okay, let us do it. First we need JavaScript. Suggestions.php. here we need to have some script tag. Okay, maybe at the bottom of the page, script. Here we can directly write JavaScript here. So we have created a script tag in suggestions.php. If I come to the suggestions.php, so here actually on key up event of this text box, for example, whatever I search, it should send this as a request to the suggestions handle.php via Ajax. So that's what we are going to target. So that's the first thing we need to do is select this search box, that is let search box equals document.query selector or document get element by id, we will pass search. Similarly, we need to target the form itself, so you can give it a search form id. I'll just quickly copy this search form because we will need it shortly. Also, we need to target this suggestion area where we'll populate it with the search results. So again, let us copy it. This is suggestion target, or we can call it anything, and it will be suggestion. Okay, we are now getting all of these three elements. The next is on the key up event of search, we need to fire the XML HTTP request. So next thing is search box dot added event listener, and it is going to be key up and it will be a function. Okay, so let us search term equals this dot value, so whatever is typed here, and let us check if this is working fine. So console.log search term. So refresh the page and open console. So you can see with the key app we are getting all the values of the search box, meaning this is working fine. Next, we are going to create a XML HTTP request. So let xhr equals, you can name it anything, new XML HTTP request, XML HTTP request. Then we are going to open a connection, and the connection should have the method which is post, because we want to send it as a post, and the suggestion handle.php file. So the second parameter is going to be suggestion. So suggestion handle, and there is no need of the third argument. The next star on load, it is going to be a function. So here we will have as I said earlier as well, we should include all our logic in if statement, and that if statement will have condition of this dot status equals 200, and this dot ready state equals 4. So once this condition is met, then we are going to have something, and that thing is going to be this dot response text, and we are going to make this suggestion target, use this suggestion target dot inner HTML equals this response, whatever you get from the server. So it should be the inner HTML of this suggestion target element. And now we need to send the request to the server with xhr dot send, but this is going to be a post request, so we have to send a payload here, and for that, or the parameters of the form, for that we can use let form data equals new, this is form data variable, and we can pass it the form, the search form. So it will have all the values of the search form. We already have targeted this search form here by getting the element by ID and the search form. Okay, so now we can pass this form data. So all the values of the form data, even if there are 20 values in the form, all of them will be here in this variable now. But we only need this search, this name search, but still this form data can be very helpful. Form data, and that's it. So this will send a request to this server page, this page, with the value of this search field. So if all things are fine, let us try if it is now working. I will refresh the page and let us search for method, and you can see it has returned the search results for method, and the title has both the methods. So for example, if I search for beyond now, and it is actually sending me beyond as well. What we can do is, because I have added, if I show you suggestions.handle just to mimic the actual server, I have added a sleep of 2. So if I just remove it in the PHP page, and now if I search for what, so the search is very fast now, because now this is local server, and the data is being fetched very fast. But if we want to mimic the real server, so there should be, and there is always some delay. We can use the sleep again, sleep function in the, for example, this. And if we make one more change in the suggestions, for example, whenever it is key up, we will make the suggestion dot inner HTML is equal to searching. So as soon as we type something into it, I will have to refresh the page. Okay, so if I type something, it is searching and then it searches, and it becomes, for example, if I search for how, it is searching and then it loads the suggestions. So that's how Ajax works. Let me recap this code. We added event listen of key up to the search element. Initially, when as soon as key is fired, it makes the suggestion target inner HTML searching. But then we send the HTTP request to this URL, and we make the inner HTML as this was response text. And then we create the form data instance and pass the search form ID. This is how we have targeted it. Sorry, this one, search form, and then it sends all the data to the server side page, which is session handle. And here you don't need to make any change, because this is the variable you sent from the Ajax page will be available here in the $sign post, just like normal server side code. Thank you very much. See you next time.